If you've ever searched how to make a girl like you, chances are you've been bombarded with advice like get a six-pack, make more money, learn pickup lines. And while those things might catch your eye for a second, they rarely build something real. Here's the truth no one tells you. Most guys in healthy, fulfilling relationships don't have model bodies, fancy cars, or James Bond-level charisma. So why do they still attract women? Because real attraction doesn't start with your wallet, your jawline, or your Tinder bio. It starts with your energy, your mindset, your presence. The reason so many men fail with women isn't because they're not enough. It's because they're trying too hard to be what they think women want, instead of becoming someone they themselves respect. This video isn't about tricks. It's about a shift in how you see yourself. Because once you get that right, everything else changes how you speak, how you move, how women respond to you. Let's break the myth wide open. Attraction isn't earned through performance. It's revealed through confidence without apology. Ready? Let's go. Let's get real for a second. Most men don't struggle with women because they're ugly, poor, or awkward. They struggle because they're acting from a place of lack, like they need to earn a woman's approval just to be seen. Here's what that looks like. You try too hard to impress her. You filter your words hoping not to mess it up. You overthink your every move, texting, timing, body language. You laugh at jokes you don't even find funny just to keep her smiling. Sound familiar? It's not that you're doing something wrong. It's that everything you do is rooted in fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of not being enough. Fear that if she doesn't choose you, no one else will. But here's the twist. The more you chase approval, the more invisible you become. Women can sense when a man is performing instead of being. It doesn't feel authentic, it doesn't feel secure, and it's not attractive. The man she remembers is the one who doesn't need her validation to stand tall. The one who knows his worth whether she sees it or not. If you're constantly adjusting yourself just to be accepted, ask yourself, would you even accept the version of you you're presenting? Let's fix that. Starting now. Here's the mindset shift that changed everything for me, and it will for you too. Attraction is not logical, it's emotional. You could be the most successful guy in the room, wear designer suits and drive a Tesla, but if your energy screams, "I hope she likes me," she'll feel it, and she'll walk away. That's because women don't judge you based on your words or your resume. They judge you based on how you feel about yourself when you're around them. Read that again. What you feel becomes what she feels. If you're anxious, tense, or trying to impress her, she doesn't think he's nervous. She feels uncomfortable and doesn't know why. But if you walk up calm, relaxed, grounded, like you belong in your own skin, she doesn't question it. She just feels safer, more drawn in, more curious. This is why confident men who may not be the best looking or richest still attract women effortlessly. Because their inner world is aligned. They don't need to convince anyone. They just are. Want to be that guy? Then stop learning what to say and start focusing on how you feel when you say it. Confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being okay with who you are, no matter who's watching. Let's talk about one of the biggest silent killers of attraction-seeking approval. It's sneaky. Most guys don't even realize they're doing it. It shows up when you ask permission to flirt, apologize for taking up space, constantly gauge her reaction after every sentence, overthink your next move because you don't want to mess up. But here's the hard truth. The second you put her above you, she sees you beneath her. You think being overly polite, overly giving, or overly available will earn you points. It doesn't. It tells her one thing. This guy doesn't believe he's enough. And when you don't believe that she never will. Let me paint a picture. Two guys approach the same woman. Guy, a nervous smile. Hi, can I get you a drink? Guy B, calm, curious tone. What's your go-to drink here? I'm feeling adventurous. Guess who gets her attention? It's not about the line. It's about the energy behind it. Guy A wants approval. Guy B is just present. The guy who needs a woman's validation repels her. The guy who enjoys the moment and shares his vibe, he becomes unforgettable. When you stop asking for permission to exist, she stops looking for a reason to dismiss you. Let that sink in. If there's one trait that separates magnetic men from the rest, it's detachment. Not coldness, not arrogance. Detachment, the ability to engage fully, but not depend on the outcome. Most men crumble at the first sign of rejection. They take it personally. They replay it in their heads for days. They shrink. But here's the truth. Attraction dies the moment you treat her reaction like your report card. Think about it. The man who doesn't fear rejection becomes free. Free to be playful. Free to be bold. Free to walk away. Let's say you approach a woman and she says, "Not interested." The average guy panics, apologizes, walks away with his confidence shattered. But the grounded man smiles and says, "No worries. You have a good night," or maybe even cracks a joke. "Dang, that was fast. I didn't even get to the fun part yet." He walks away the same man he was before, unshaken, unchanged, undiminished, because he knows something most guys don't. Rejection isn't failure, it's just feedback. When you're no longer afraid of losing her, you show up as the guy who doesn't need her to feel valuable. And ironically, that's the guy she'll want to chase. Let's be honest. How many times have you treated a woman differently just because she was stunning? You talked faster. You got nervous. You became overly nice, overly agreeable, overly available. Why? Because somewhere deep down, you believed her beauty made her more valuable than you. But let's flip the script. What did she do to earn that status? Was she kind? Was she intelligent? Did she inspire you, challenge you, support you? Or was she just genetically blessed and really good at eyeliner? Here's a truth most guys don't want to admit. Looks are not effort. You wouldn't worship a guy just because he had a six-pack. So why throw yourself at someone just because she was born with good bone structure? When you pedestal a woman for her appearance, you send a message. I don't believe I'm enough, so I'll praise you into liking me. That never works. What does work? Treating her like a human being, a potential match, not a prize. Try this instead. You're definitely attractive, but I'm still figuring out if we vibe. Now she's curious. Because you didn't hand her approval for free. You made her earn it. And when you stop acting like she's the goal, she'll start seeing you as the one worth chasing. Let's talk about standards and why most guys quietly abandon them. You say you want a woman who's smart, kind, emotionally mature, and respects your space. But when someone cute enough shows interest, you drop all that. You chase. You compromise. You settle. Why? Because deep down, you think this might be the best I can get. It's the chicken soup story all over again. You walk into a restaurant craving chicken soup. The waiter says, "Sorry, we only have tomato today." You sigh, settle, and say, "Fine, tomato's okay," but it wasn't what you wanted. You just didn't believe another restaurant was worth walking to. That's how most guys date. They settle for what's available, not what truly matches their values. But a high-value man, he walks out. He keeps looking until he finds what aligns with him. Because he understands something most people don't. Your standards shape your life. Lower them out of fear, and your whole world starts shrinking. This doesn't mean being unrealistic. It means knowing what matters to you and having the discipline not to chase anything that doesn't match it. You're not here to earn love from anyone who doesn't recognize your worth. You're here to build with someone who matches it. Stop dating like you're afraid to be alone. Start dating like you know what you bring to the table, and you're not afraid to eat alone until the right person joins you. Here's the uncomfortable truth most men avoid. You don't lose women because you're too firm. You lose them because you're too flexible. A man with no principles will always bend to keep her around. He'll agree to things he doesn't believe in. He'll say yes when he means no. He'll silence his gut to avoid conflict. But guess what? Every time you do that, she respects you less. Because deep down she knows you're not standing on anything real. You're just trying not to upset her. Let me give you an example. You're in a heated discussion with your girlfriend. She threatens, "If this continues, I don't think we can be together." The average guy. He panics. He apologizes even if he didn't do anything wrong. He offers to change something fundamental just to keep her. But the high-value man, he stays calm. He doesn't chase. He says, "If that's how you feel, then maybe we're not the right fit." And that's okay, not out of anger, out of self-respect. And here's what happens next. Most of the time, the woman pulls back. Not because he manipulated her, but because he reminded her that his identity doesn't depend on her staying. Principles create gravity. They keep you centered when things get messy. So, ask yourself this: what do I believe in, and do I live like it matters? Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anyone. If you want to stand out from every other guy she meets, there's one powerful truth you need to understand. Mystery beats compliments. Curiosity beats flattery. Most guys rush to impress. They shower her with praise. They agree with everything she says. They try to prove they're different by acting exactly like every other man trying to be liked. But you don't become unforgettable by being agreeable. You become unforgettable by being unpredictable in a good way. Here's what that looks like. She says, "I love hiking on weekends." The average guy replies, "That's awesome, me too. We should go sometime," but the high-value guy, he smirks and says, "Hiking, huh? You seem more like the spa and smoothies type to me." She laughs a little shocked. Then she thinks, "Wait, what makes him say that?" Suddenly she's curious. She's not used to being challenged. She's used to being chased. This isn't about being rude. It's about showing that your attention isn't automatic. You're not sold just because she's pretty or says the right things. That makes her lean in, because for once, she's not in control of the interaction, and she loves it. Remember this: if she doesn't have to work for your attention, she won't value your presence. So, don't be an open book. Be a compelling story, one she has to turn the page to understand. So, here's what it all comes down to. You don't need more tricks. You don't need a better pickup line. You don't need to pretend to be someone you're not. What you need is alignment. Between your values and your behavior. Between how you see yourself and how you show up. Because women, real emotionally intelligent women, aren't looking for perfect. They're looking for real, grounded, centered, confident without being cocky. That only happens when you stop chasing approval. You hold your standards. You prioritize principle over popularity. And you value your own time and energy as much as you value hers. You don't win a woman over by trying to be her fantasy. You draw her in by being a man who doesn't need to impress her to know his worth. A man like that, he's rare, he's refreshing, and he's impossible to forget. So here's your challenge. Starting today. Stop asking, "How do I get her to like me?" Start asking, "Do I even like the man I'm becoming?" Because once you start showing up as the version of yourself that you respect, the right people will feel it, and they'll come to you. If this message landed for you, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to level up your confidence not just in dating, but in life, subscribe. Stick around. You're in the right place. Your future self. He'll thank you for starting today.